Good morning, kids, and welcome back to Dead Meat. Today we're checking out the brand new kill count for the 1977 movie Exorcist 2: The Heretic. Last week we saw The Exorcist. Now it's time to see how this demon continues on torturing. Let's go. About go movie. Of course, for us, it's only
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies and show you how they were made. I'm James H. and today we're looking at Exorcist 2: The Heretic, released in 1977. The Heretic continues the unfortunate story of a now 16-year-old Regan McNeil, who would love to just tap dance through her teenage years. But a burnt-out priest investigating the death of Father Merrin realizes she might have some residual demon hiding in her repressed memories. At least, I think that's the plot. I don't know, man. This movie's fucking weird. The original Exorcist was the highest-grossing movie in Warner Brothers history, so the studio wanted a sequel by any means necessary. The original plan was a quick cash grab that would recycle unused footage from the first film. It'd be supplemented by a priest interviewing people, the old Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 technique. But the two men who made the first film, director William Friedkin and writer-producer William Peter Blatty, gave that idea a resounding hell no, then got back to filing lawsuits against the studio and each other over profits and credits. Playwright William Goodhart then turned in a heady script about spirituality and transcendentalism. It was good enough to convince Linda Blair to return to her career-making role. Unfortunately for her, Oscar-nominated director John Boorman took the script into his own hands.
It was very well written. Just not the project we shot.
Boorman thought the first Exorcist was cynical and put too much negativity out into the world. He wanted his sequel to be a force for good and rewrote the script several times during production. The end result was a confusing disaster, and Exorcist 2 frequently winds up on lists of the worst movies ever made. In fact, the first public screening was so bad, the audience tried to attack the executives responsible.
10 minutes into the picture, a guy stood up in the audience. He stood up and he looked around, and he said, "The people who made this piece of shit are in this room!"
I had never seen this movie before watching it for the kill count, and honestly, I expected something way worse. Like, yeah, the movie's weird, with its first-person flights through Africa and a focus on locusts like it were Jurassic World Dominion. But aside from some boring stretches where we're just watching lights flash in people's faces, it's bizarre enough to be interesting. Linda Blair's given it her all, and I like the score by Oscar-winning composer Ennio Morricone, who would go on to do music for The Thing. Exorcist 2 even has some defenders like famed film critic Pauline Kael and Martin freaking Scorsese. So yeah, it might not be a good movie, but I think it's worth checking out, if only to see a cinematic train wreck. How many souls will Pazuzu?
Oh, here comes the ad.
Tim?
Hello there.
Oh.
What's going on?
Dead Meat, right off.
How am I seeing you right now? We must be connecting through the force of creativity.
Oh, dope.
Huh.
That's
And it's thanks to our partner WeTransfer. After all, they believe...
We're going to take a small cut and be right back. And we're back. Let's continue on.
How many souls will Pazuzu claim in this Exorcist sequel? Let's find out and get to the kills.
Here we go.
The movie begins with an outtake from Minnie the Moocher. We're in a village somewhere in Latin America, and Father Philip Lamont is having a rough day at work. He preys on his Father Merrin rookie card for strength, but he has no answers for a desperately possessed medicine woman.
I heal the sick.
The demon raises the temperature by knocking over the mood lighting and tossing candles at people like a Bath and Body Works employee gone mad. And the woman sets herself off like a Roman Catholic candle. What is this, the fire of Pentecost? Or is she just becoming a holy ghost? Oh, whoa, that actually got pretty gnarly. Good stuff. This incident is the last straw for Father Lamont, who wants to quit the church. Just like Karras, he's lost faith.
Wherever I look, I see only evil. God has fallen silent.
But he can't quit yet on account of this cardinal who doesn't even know how to undress himself. Dude tells him to investigate Father Merrin's death, who died during the exorcism of the first film. People are starting to say Merrin might have been a Satanist, and the church don't want to associate with the red guy.
Satan has become an embarrassment to our progressive views.
In the 4 years since her exorcism, Regan McNeil has become a dance kid. This idea came from director-producer John Boorman, and Linda Blair didn't understand.
He said, "I think Regan should tap dance."
Okay.
What? Regan don't tap dance.
Whatever though, I'm more shook
Man,
by this
it's the title.
long-haired kid playing Barry Sax for her. Why is this kid literally me in high school? No, I'm fucking serious. Look at this. What the
Oh
fuck,
my
man?
God.
Oh, kid, I hope you're not as insufferable as I was.
Oh.
Reagan regularly sees a therapist in what might be a repurposed Magneto prison. What the hell kind of psychiatrist office is this? Yes, sit down and tell me your secrets. Ignore the kids back there beating each other with carnival plushes. This Center for
Ow.
Advanced Dream Weaving is run by Dr. Jean Tuskin, who can give privacy to her patients with a touch of a dial. I'm not sure if that darkened the glass or just turned off the lights on all those kids out there. Come on, lady. How are they supposed to roll that giant nut around in the dark? Tuskin believes Reagan can
Why is there a giant lug nut over there?
somehow access the memories she's been repressing since the end of the first movie.
She doesn't remember any of it.
Instead of unlocking those memories through comfort, trust, and sensitivity, Dr. Tuskin has got a doohickey called the Synchronizer. With it, she and Reagan can hypnotize each other and look at Reagan's dreams together? What? And sure, yeah, let's have the miserable new Marin show up as a spectator too. A stranger Catholic priest will definitely make this whole thing more comfortable.
Oh, yeah,
Strap that
definitely
belt
not.
around Reagan's head and get her looking like Quail Man. The synchronization process involves staring at turn signals and talking to the patient like the monarch auditioning new doctor girlfriends.
Deeper, deeper, Reagan, deeper.
Once Reagan is successfully
I think I get it.
hypnotized, Tuskin straps in her own head to join the fun.
Let yourself come down deeper and deeper.
So what, now hypnotized people are hypnotizing people? They must just love their
Apparently.
flashy ways. Guess that's why the church is broke and Tuskin's so paid. Reagan and Dr. Tuskin mentally travel together to her old bedroom in Georgetown, giving Lamont a third eyewitness account of Marin's death.
Is his heart strong?
I mean, I'll feel that one based on his snuff box of pills. No, it isn't. The visualist vision becomes too much for Tuskin, so Reagan tries tapping out of this bullshit.
Put that back on, Reagan. You've got to go back.
Nope, no she doesn't. This scene has gone on long enough.
Yeah,
Okay, never
yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Lamont's tagging in like he knows what the
Oh,
fucking
what?
if this is. Through the machine, he watches as a ghostly Kid Reagan appears, played by definitely not Linda Blair. Teen Reagan and Kid Reagan then grope Dr. Tuskin? No, they're just thumb wrestling over her heart. Man, poor Linda Blair, having to stand there
Apparently.
acting her best for an awkwardly long shot. She looks like a video game character idling. Seriously, it goes on for so long. These shots with a ghostly Father Marin and
I mean, yeah, the movie is nearly 2 hours!
possessed Reagan were done practically, using a two-way mirror and some dimming lights. I don't know exactly how it worked, but in any case, I don't think it was worth it. Father Lamont talks Tuskin out of harm's way and tells the audience exactly what they're thinking about this movie.
It was horrible. Utterly horrible. And fascinating.
For his troubles,
Fascinating.
Reagan draws him a portrait. Hey, Father, your head's on fire. Oh, damn. He must have got one of those combustible heads. I read an article all
Uh-oh.
about him. A real fire breaks out in the basement, where Tuskin sees the portrait come to life. It's okay if you missed it, though, distracted by him batting at the fire with a crutch. Shit looks hilarious. The demon that's apparently still locked inside of Reagan starts
Yes, I'm swinging side to side. This will surely put the fire out, even though I'm not striking down. What?
taunting her with visions from the past. It shows her a younger Father Marin in an African village, where some locusts are getting extremely loud and incredibly close. Yo, dude, I'm pretty sure you can't slingshot all those bugs to death. This tool is actually a bull roarer, an ancient ritual instrument that was sometimes used to ward off evil spirits. The flashback makes Reagan sleepwalk all the way to the edge of her high-rise balcony in one of the movie's most unsettling moments, especially since they didn't use a stunt double for this. Those are actually Linda Blair's feet on the edge of an actual New York skyscraper. What the fuck, man? And what were they thinking when they built this terrace in real life? Why are there gaps in the guardrails like that? Production
Why
built a
was
whole
it?
ass set on the roof of the Warner Communications building, 35 stories up. They even hung a cameraman off
350 feet.
the edge to get the shots they needed, looking like they were on a stratosphere ride. Reagan snaps out of it and tends to her installation at the Contemporary Museum of Bird Art. She's found by Sharon, her live-in babysitter, who gives a throwaway line explaining why Reagan's mom isn't in this movie.
But just some things your mother didn't have time to do before she went on location.
Ellen Burstyn refused to reprise the role of Chris McNeil, so the filmmakers brought back Sharon, a character from the first movie who was so inconsequential, I don't even think I
Hey.
mentioned her by name in last week's kill count. Sharon also absorbed the narrative duties of Detective Kinderman when actor Lee J. Cobb passed away during this film's pre-production.
Aw.
Sharon is once again played by
Dang.
Kitty Wynn, who really seems like she doesn't want to be in this movie. I don't blame her. Sharon takes Father Lamont to their old house in Georgetown, helping him up the stairs and showing him how far they are from Reagan's old window. Seriously, how'd so many people fly that far? Since the McNeils haven't lived here for 4 years, the place is basically empty. All the father finds is a giant locust in the corner. Sorry, dude. You're gonna have to seek out answers another way.
Locust.
Don't you ever need a woman? Father?
Alright, calm down. I meant using the synchronizer again. During this trip, Reagan tunes in for a full episode of Young Mary, showing the first time he ever met her demon pal down in Africa.
I am Pazuzu.
And there it is.
Lots of good noises in this movie, like the one the demon makes in these first-person shots.
It's throat
Mary
singing.
traveled here because Pazuzu possessed a kid named Kokumo. He's the bull roarer boy who had a supernatural ability to tell locusts to go on and get. Father Marin is played by Max von Sydow, reprising the role from the first film. He didn't want to do it at first, since he saw the success of the original as endorsement of child torture, but director Borman pitched his sequel as an antidote to the first film's negativity, so von Sydow agreed to return. Probably helped that he didn't have to wear old man makeup this time. Marin and the local holy men tried to visit an inconveniently located place of worship. While hanging out in the crevasse, they were set upon by a demon who flew at them sounding like this. The evil winds caused one climber to lose his grip and just bounce all the fuck around as he descended. Damn, dude's about to get a new high score in human pinball. I love the way this is filmed, especially the dummy at the end that just falls forever. To keep the not dummy actor safe, they built this cliff sideways on a stage with a blue screen at the bottom. The actor was then moved through it on a wire and pulley system. The character ultimately dies after getting stuck between rocks, like a visit to Ember Twin gone wrong. The African desert scenes were actually filmed in Arizona, Utah, and Nevada, as well as on a soundstage with a bunch of dirt shipped in to create the Ethiopian landscape. They originally planned to shoot on location in Ethiopia and the Vatican, but couldn't because of the budget. They also couldn't shoot in Georgetown again because the people there didn't want them around. The original house and stairs had to be recreated on a Warner Brothers soundstage in Burbank. Marin performed an exorcism and used his holy water to de-Pazuzu Kokumo with a jump cut. Lamont wants to know where Kokumo is now, so Pazuzu offers him a complimentary flight.
Share my wings.
They take a Kandarian 737 and fly to another African village. There, the now adult Kokumo, oh shit, played by James Earl Jones, scares away Pazuzu with his trademark voice. Huh, did he always sound like a cat? Oh, yeah, I guess so. Reagan wants to join the hunt for Pazuzu, and I don't see why she shouldn't. She's all of a sudden got powers, like making nonverbal patients speak.
She's talking.
I expect.
Tuscan doesn't like that kind of mind raiding, though.
You know, Reagan, it's really very dangerous to fool around with other people's heads.
Lady, you're the one who invented brain Dr. Tuscan is played by Louise Fletcher, following her Oscar win for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Early on, she was going to replace Ellen Burstyn as Chris McNeil. Back then, Dr. Tuscan was a man, set to be played by Chris Sarandon, everyone's favorite doll detective. When he fell through, the character's gender was swapped, and Fletcher continued her streak of playing medical professionals. Tuscan thinks all this religious stuff is going too far.
Let's stick to science.
But Reagan and Lamont still want to go the God route, so they meet at the Natural History Museum. She shows them a painting of the Ethiopian temple she saw Marin visit in her dreams. With the location narrowed down, Lamont asks the church for permission to bless the rains down in Africa. Instead, the cardinal tells him to turn in his cross and badge. He's fired for getting too cozy with the forces of darkness. Lamont decides to make the trek to Ethiopia on his own, like a loose cannon priest he is. He follows Marin's steps all the way up to the desert church in time for the afternoon dance party and communion service. Damn, dude, save some blood of Christ for the rest of us. Thanks to his vision, Lamont's able to point out exactly where that one guy ping-ponged to death decades ago. That kind of game insider info almost gets the local priest to trust him, but he fumbles the bag by saying how he knew.
I flew with Pazuzu in the trucks.
Dog, you can't be saying you're travel buddies with a demon. The holy man's immediately like, nah, fuck this guy.
He will not be my devil worshiper.
Lamont tries to persist, but maybe step off, dude. You're looking to get stoned in a second. Haha, yep, there it is. Due to his psychic connection with Reagan, she feels the stoning. Right during her big dance recital. Oh no! It's actually hilarious as she tries to fend off this telepathic beatdown. Oh my god, this is so fucking dumb and funny. The lightly stoned Lamont sulks around until he finds a ride to Kokumo's hometown. Undaunted and no better at small talk.
I've flown this spook before. When was that? It was on the wings of a demon.
You gotta stop saying that shit, man. He's lucky I
just said, you won't believe me if I told you.
Nemiko Edwards here don't give a fuck. Dude's too busy almost hitting other planes and almost avoiding birds. Also, why is this guy just Winston from The Mummy? Actor Ned Beatty had previously appeared in director Borman's Deliverance, but you might know him as the voice of Lotso in Toy Story 3. Once in the village, Lamont conducts the most thorough search possible.
Kumo,
When that doesn't work, he telepathically links up with Reagan and prays for Pazuzu to take him down to Kokomo. He gets there fast, and then he takes it slow on account of the giant locust he finds. It's actually Kokomo in a cool outfit, and the holy man challenges the doubting priest to prove his faith by walking across spikes. He also spits out like a tomato or something?
What?
I don't know anymore. Lamont gives it a shot, but eats shit on his very first step. Thankfully, he lands on linoleum instead of deadly spikes. The temple was just a psychic front for Kokomo's lab. Turns out he's grown up to be a scientist.
Hey.
Were you ever possessed by Pazuzu? That's what my mother used to tell me.
Like I mentioned, adult Kokumo is played by James Earl Jones, who made a much bigger splash in Star Wars when it came out just a month before this film.
Oh,
Kokumo's
that's
lab
awesome.
studies locust behavior, giving us lots of awesome bug photography. They're so gross. He says locusts turn evil with too much physical contact, to the point of devouring each other. But his research has produced a so-called good locust that can save all their tiny little souls. And if you didn't get the metaphor right away, just watch this edit very carefully.
The good locust?
Reagan is the
Reagan?
good locust. Do you see? Lamont heads back to
Kinda
America
obvious,
and tries to
I guess.
check in with Reagan, but she's already checked herself out of the mental aquarium and stolen the synchronizer. He finds her at the museum and they join forces to clean out her demonic leftovers. For most of production, Richard Burton relied on cue cards for his lines, probably because he was drunk a lot of the time. He was in the throes of alcoholism and only
that's
took the
nice.
role to help pay for his divorce from Elizabeth Taylor. No, not that one, the second divorce.
Oh,
Director
damn.
Borman didn't even want Burton for the role. His first choice was John Voight, but he had to drop out. Even though he wasn't the greatest co-star, Blair still appreciated the chance to work with him.
To work with Richard Burton, that's still to this day is one of the highlights of my life.
In a dingy hotel
Oh,
room,
that's
they
so
put their
cool.
heads together with the synchronizer. A flashback gets pulled out of a wormhole, and Lamont sees how Marin
Ellie.
spent his life trying to protect good locusts like Kokumo and Reagan.
She's precious. And I entrust her to you.
When the dream ends at Reagan's bedroom door, Lamont debelts his head and immediately starts walking to Georgetown. Good hustle from Team Guy.
Wait, what?
Although, what? Is he possessed now? He's in a trance or something at least. I mean, the dude almost leaves Reagan behind. She has to jump on a moving subway train not to lose him. They're catching a ride here at
damn.
Union Station, by the way, which we just saw in Hannibal. It's where Hanny Boy grazed Clarice's hair on
Oh,
the carousel.
yeah.
Carousel? It was from a Union Station payphone that Reagan called up Dr. Tuscan to let her know she was running away to home. Tuscan relays the info to Sharon as they leave to intercept her.
Stupid bitch.
Wait, what?
Oh!
What the fuck was that?
Stupid bitch.
Is she talking about Reagan, or what is happening in
I
this
don't know.
movie?
I
The
don't
Amazing
know.
Race
I
is on
don't
to get to
know.
Reagan's bedroom in Georgetown. Sharon and Tuscan fight against inconvenient accidents and evil turbulence, while the entranced Lamont wages a one-man war on dudes just trying to do their jobs.
Leave her alone. She belongs to me.
Get going. The girl has to get home.
Lamont and Reagan make it to the old home
That's
first,
Pazuzu,
maybe because
alright.
Tuscan and Sharon's cab driver was afraid to take them there. Turns out his fears were justified, since the car becomes possessed and crashes upon arrival. Sharon and Dr. Tuscan survive,
damn.
and the nameless cabbie is killed, a sacrifice for the great Pazuzu rematch of '77. Inside
Damn
her
you,
old home,
Pazuzu.
Reagan completely ignores the giant car crash outside and catches up to Lamont during a corner timeout. He's stunned by something in her bedroom, and she discovers it's also her. Possessed Reagan is back, although she looks a little different, since Blair
Yeah,
flatly
little.
refused to go through the arduous makeup process again. Dick Smith performed his magic on an uncredited actress instead, with the character's voice dubbed by Karen Knapp. Before long, possessed kid Reagan turns into another teen Reagan who's trying to be all sexy. Ah, no! God
No.
damn it! Which Reagan
No.
is Reagan?
Pazuzu's Reagan is the only Reagan.
You're not helping, Pazuzu! Outside,
get out
Sharon
of here.
turns completely evil for
Power
reasons
Crush
I
compels you.
still don't understand. She blocks Dr. Tuscan's rescue by doing an impression of this movie's box office receipts. That leaves Lamont on his own to resist the charms of glam Reagan. Come on, man, resist harder. Originally, he resisted even less, as the filmmakers toyed with the idea of more physical sexual contact.
It was weird.
Thankfully, that
Yeah,
shit was shot
this
down
is
by both the
highly
17-year-old Blair and the 52-year-old Burton. Still, the seduction
Thank
works.
God.
Lamont starts choking non-glam Reagan until he hears the spirit of that woman he couldn't save in the intro.
Okay. Okay.
The Duolingo lesson restores Lamont's faith and he starts fighting Pazuzu instead. Wait, they are fighting, right? Or is he getting seduced by her again?
I don't want to even know
Yeah,
anymore.
I'm still not clear. Dr. Tuscan runs through town, warning that the locusts are coming. The locusts are coming. Not that Lamont or Reagan need to be told. While watching watching this, I was wondering what the fuck these actors were being blasted with. Turns out production painted packing peanuts brown and shot them out of an air cannon. Awesome. Other scenes, like in Kokumo's lab, used real locusts. 2,500 of them were shipped from the UK, but died at a rate of 100 per day due to the difference in climate. The ones that didn't die refused to fly, so Borman tried cutting their legs off before resorting to the fake ones. Listen, I hate bugs, but honestly, no living thing should have to die for Exorcist 2. The house starts breaking apart at the seams, so Lamont cracks open the Karras playbook and beats the hell out of Pazuzu with his fists. But he doesn't stop with jabs. He punches Evil Reagan's chest open and rips out her beating heart. I guess I'll count this? I'm sorry, everyone. As the rest of the property value crumbles, good Reagan starts hearing Old Town Road in her head.
What?
Oh, wait, no. She's imitating Kokumo's banishing ritual, and it works. The bugs fall to the ground and crossfade a few times until they're all gone. Easy cleanup. Call now. Father Lamont walks out of the house like he didn't just perform open heart surgery with his bare hands. As Father Dyer did with Father Karras in the first film, Lamont tries to take Sharon's final confession.
I chose evil.
Yeah, you did, and I'm still not sure why. Either way, the father blesses her as she dies from her burns. Dr. Tuscan kinda just gives Reagan to Lamont, and they leave her behind to explain to the cops why Georgetown had a biblical plague. The movie ends with Father Lamont letting us know that, you know what, we're all good for now.
Enemy of the human race. Subdued.
This second outing might have doubled the Reagans, but did it double the kills? Let's find out and get to the numbers, and see what Tim came up with. Yeah, that makes sense.
Tap dance I get it. This makes
I
no
counted
damn
5
sense.
kills in Exorcist 2, with the victims consisting of 2 men and 3 women. Or 2 women and a demon taking the shape of another woman. I don't know. We've seen this count and breakdown in 6 other movies before, and with a runtime of 118 minutes, Exorcist 2 had a kill on average every 23.6 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest skill to Evil Reagan / Pazuzu. When it comes to killing a demon, you expect some kind of cerebral philosophical defeat. Instead, Lamont banishes it with a fucking fatality. Dolmachenko's greatest kill goes to the taxi driver. He went out in a blaze of glory, but we don't really see the death. He's just kind of, crumpled up in there. And that's it. Exorcist II: The Heretic came out in 1977 and did so poorly it put the franchise on ice for 13 years. Blair herself had mixed feelings about the project.
I can only say to people, if you can find anything in it you enjoy, great. And if you don't, I get it, but I didn't write it.
Luckily, The Exorcist 3 is a certified banger. I'll show you next week. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count.
On the next Kill Count.
There we go. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this kill count and whatever the hell it actually was, because I am so lost. Either way, I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Links to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see all you kids next time when we flick on. Peace out.